I found it really helpful having done that vlog yesterday. I didn't do it for that reason. I just did it. I didn't, a lot of the stuff I do is just because I'm doing it. But it sort of pushed me back on track. It was somehow, well, I say cathartic. I've put cathartic in the. I edited the description under the other vlog. Um, I didn't feel it was cathartic at the time, but it obviously did something because it made me think, and I hadn't shopped for nearly 2 weeks, and I thought I'd do some shopping, and I went through the Fast 800 onto the Fast 800 site and looked at the recipes for the next week or two, and did some shopping based on that. So we'll be able to easily prepare some Fast 800 meals this week. And I also know that it's partly about being prepared. When we were doing the Fast 800 last year, I knew what was coming. I knew not what I needed to do, and prepared food in time for meal times. And part of the carb stuff for me is often I'm going to use the word laziness, but I'm not lazy. But it's often about shortcuts and that'll be easier, that'll be quicker. I can't be bothered, or it's too late and I'm hungry. That's often been an issue for me, that I've reached a point of being so hungry that I need to eat within the next quarter of an hour rather than planning ahead. So the Fast 800 and probably other regimes that people follow is about planning and about having the food around you that you need to make the meals on the regime. And the other thing about the Fast 800 was that you were meant to not have in the house the food that you might have eaten before. And when we did it back then, I did clear us out of we did get rid of any food or eat most of the food that we weren't meant to be eating, and then I stopped buying it, and so there weren't things to go to. It's not like that now, and there will be things to go to. But I think if I'm doing mainly Fast 800 food, and the things that we go to and the things around it are not on top of poor quality meals as well. So it's like, if we're having low carb meals, then if we're having carbs, maybe other. I mean, there's still that cake. Not a lot of it's really difficult to slice it, but there's still that cake. So that somebody's got to eat that. You can't just leave it. So yeah, there will be carby things around, but not, my meals are not going to be so carb based because I really do need to get on top of that. So yeah, that's good. So today I'm doing chickpea and tuna salad with spinach, which we really enjoy. It doesn't sound exciting, and it is only 1 tin of tuna between us, which is something that I had to get my head around when we first started, was the small amount of protein, because I like my protein. I like meat, fish. It's like we used to have a tin of tuna each when I was doing something with tuna. If I was doing, say, tuna and sweet corn with baked potato. So it's just 1 tin between us, which is 120 grams, if I remember rightly, of tuna. So 60 grams each, which is quite a small amount. But what I didn't know and learnt on that when we were doing that was that protein, if you have too much protein, that can also be turned into, your body turns that into fat. So it's important, because I think looking at the other diets, like the keto diet, or the keto diet or Atkins, was they don't think they limit protein quite the way the Fast 800 did, and which is probably not a good thing. It's also not good for your liver, and I'm taking tablets that are not good for my liver. I take something called methotrexate, which I have to have a blood test every month to look at what's happening with my liver, because methotrexate is not good for your liver. And too much protein, puts your liver under strain. Pass me a leg of lamb, please. Oh, terrible for meat. I love my meat. So, but I am aware that I don't always eat loads of meat, but sometimes I have a bit of a meat fest. Yeah, I'm going to pause you a minute. Yeah, completely different subject, but something else I also had been thinking about when I did the video about Christmas. We don't do Christmas cards. Haven't done Christmas cards for probably 10 years now. God, it's so difficult to count time anymore. And I think that we've been here 15 years, and we were sending Christmas cards, I'm sure, for the first couple of years. So it might even be 12 years. I know that it doesn't feel that long, but it must be that long. We stopped sending them mainly because of money. The French don't do Christmas cards in quite the way that you do in the UK. So whereas in the UK you can go out and buy a couple of boxes of Christmas cards, or go to the card shops and buy some nice Christmas cards. Over here there's not that many, and they don't do them in variety boxes, or it's much more individual, and they actually send cards for New Year, not for Christmas. So there isn't the availability of Christmas cards to begin with. And also it was the cost of sending them back to the UK, because obviously back then most of the people we were sending cards to, and it would still be that, would be in the UK. And so back then we were only on Mark's pension, and the exchange rate had plummeted, and that was probably when we stopped. It was like this was just an expense that we couldn't continue with. So we stopped doing that. And one person, we sent, what I do is I go to Jackie Lawson. I have a subscription with Jackie Lawson for e-cards, and they're lovely. They're really lovely e-cards. I'll put a link in the description. And each year I just send one of the Christmas e-cards to people, and most people enjoy it. I've had people, there was a friend of ours, Eric, who particularly enjoyed it, and he said, "Oh, I always look forward to that." And so I'd send them 2 or 3 through December, just because I knew they enjoyed them. Because it's unlimited, you pay your subscription, which is really cheap, and then it's unlimited. You can send as many cards as you like. So I use it for birthdays and Christmas and other things. But there was a then friend of ours who was really angry with us for sending an e-card. Really angry, and really didn't seem to understand what was going on for us back then, and how financially fripperies like Christmas cards and things like that were more than we could stretch to, when we were trying to stretch to, back then, I think, to buy oil for the central heating, because that had gone up as well. So the exchange rate had plummeted and oil had gone up, and we were then using oil. I don't think she had any idea, and it quite surprised me several times actually that she seemed to lack empathy, which for somebody in the profession she was in was rather shocking. Anyway, so yeah, we send e-cards, and nowadays I donate money to a charity in lieu of what we might spend. I mean, it's probably not completely what we'd spend, or it might be more than we spend, but I'd much rather send it to charity than waste it on bits of paper that then people don't know what to do with it. So we get so I sort of would implore my friends not to send us Christmas cards, because I hated receiving them, because it felt like, well, you're sending us cards, we're not sending you cards. I'm sending you an e-card, but it's not really equal. And but we still receive a few Christmas cards, and I've given up now. That's quite nice. But every year I then have to work out what to do with the bloody things, and what we do now, what I have done, is that if you cut off the bit that's been written on, and you've just got the card bit with the picture on, um, the Hope shop, the Hope charity shop, that I did a vlog of some time back. They take them and then they make new cards out of them. So that's quite a nice way to use them. So that's what we do each year or every couple of years. And I just put them in an envelope and send them down because we don't go down there very often. So I've been sort of sitting with this from Resto du Coeur, asking me about making a donation or making a regular donation, and this has been sitting here for a week. So I do want to make a donation, but I'm just not really sure what to do. Whether to do a regular one, which I think I probably will do. And it was Resto's that we volunteered for a couple of years. So I would like to do that. But we do quite, there's lots. There are other charities that we send money to, but I just feel that, there's no balance in this life, is there? You've got people that have got loads of money, and you've got people who have, well, I'm going to say none, because it must feel like that if you're in that position. You've got no money. And I know that there are lots of people living on the streets and begging for money, and I find it hard sometimes when I give the guy outside our local supermarket. I give him some money, and then he's following me to the till with his cans of beer, and I have to remember that if I was living like that, I'd probably want to be pissed. I'd probably want to be drunk. I'd probably want to drink and not, to try and forget what was going on. I'm sure he doesn't forget what's going on. I don't know how he lives. It doesn't look very comfortable. But yeah, so I'm trying to decide what to do with this, but I think I'll probably end up doing a regular donation. And I sort of think I might send some money to Emmaus. I don't know. Difficult. Or, I don't know. I really don't know. It's so much. There's so many people in need, and I can't do anything about it. And I find that really hard. I'd love to find a way to do more than just regularly donate some money. I was reading a little bit this morning about Abbé Pierre, who founded Emmaus, which is the shop that the chateau people go to buy their furniture and their porcelain and their Limoges and their all the other stuff for very little money. And Abbé Pierre started. It became Emmaus later on, but he opened or wanted to build somewhere for homeless people after coming across someone that was suicidal, and he bought a building and refurbished it for homeless people, and then from there it just grew and grew and grew. And I'd love to be able to do something like that, but where do you start? I don't have any money to do that sort of thing. I certainly now don't have the energy. The only energy I have, I'd possibly be able to be the project manager of something like that. But anything else now that would require me to help physically is now beyond me. But I'd love to have the money that's these some of the money that some people have that would be just enough to share it, just enough to share some of my wealth and do good for someone else. I'd love to be able to do that. I'd love to be a philanthropist, a bigger philanthropist. I don't think I am one. I'd like to be one. I'd like to have money to share and wealth to share. And yet what I've learned which may be wrong, is that quite often those that have lots of money to share don't share it, and they piss off up to space for some reason or other, and they don't pay their taxes, um, and generally they're in a bubble of their own and don't realise, don't choose not to notice how much of their wealth could be used more fairly. And I see more and more people in a bubble thinking that this is a great lifestyle, and it doesn't matter about anybody else, and that really pisses me off. Anyway, this has been rambling. It's a rambling vlog, but I just wanted to say it. I've been up 3 hours, and it's only 8:30. I think I've been awake since 5. Didn't have a great night, but I've had 3 good nights before that, so I'm not complaining. Have a good day, and if you can think about how I can do something better than just a regular donation to Restos, how I can do something better than that, let me know. I really want to. Thanks.